Here's the preview of the national championship for Division I women's basketball between the number 1 seed South Carolina, who is a 4-point favorite currently according to ESPN, and the number 2 seed UConn. Okay, I'm going to go over the non-favorite here in UConn. UConn averages 74.5 points per game while allowing 54.7, 39 rebounds per game while allowing 31.7, 18 assists per game while allowing 10.6, 14 turnovers per game while forcing 16.1, 9.1 steals per game, and 4.6 blocks. Some players to keep an eye on are like Kristen Williams, a 5'11" guard that's a senior, 14.6 points per game, who is a shooter. Paige Beckers is a 5'11" guard that's a sophomore, 4.6 points per game, that's a shooter as well. Azzy Fudd is a 5'11" guard, that's a freshman, 12.5 points per game, that's a shooter also. Caroline Ducharme is a 6'2" guard, that's a freshman, 9.8 points per game, that's a semi-shooter. Olivia Nelson-Ododa is a 6'5" forward, that's a senior, 9.3 points per game. Ivana Westbrook is a 6-foot guard, that's a senior, 9 points per game, who is a shooter. Aaliyah Edwards, that's a 6'3" forward, that's a sophomore, 7.9 points per game. Obviously, we know for sure no Dorka Juhas for the rest of the year, so I'm not going to mention her stats at all. Nika Mule is a 5'10" guard, that's a sophomore, 3.9 points per game, but can't shoot threes. Now, for South Carolina, on average, 71.1 points per game while allowing 50.7. So both of these defenses are really, really good. But the rebounding is insane for South Carolina. I mean, 47.8 rebounds per game while allowing 30.4. 14.1 assists per game while allowing 8.9. 14.4 turnovers per game while forcing 13.6, 6.5 steals per game, and 7.5 blocks per game. Some players to keep an eye on, like Aaliyah Boston, of course. A 6'5" forward, that's a junior, 17 points per game. That's a semi-shooter, as in, like, can't shoot the ball when needed, but not great. Destiny Henderson is a 5'7" guard, that's 11.1 points per game, who is a shooter. Zia Cook is a 5'9" guard, that's a junior, 10.7 points per game. Leticia Emma here is a 6'4" forward, that's a junior, 6.4 points per game, but not really a shooter despite it going like 5 for 11 on threes. It's not enough to attempt to classify as a shooter, in my opinion. Camila Cardoso is a 6'7" center, that's a sophomore, 5.8 points per game. Bria Hall is a 6-foot guard, that's a freshman, 5.1 points per game. Lily Grissett is a 6'2" center, that's a senior, 3.4 points per game. Destiny Littleton is a 5'9" guard, that's a senior, 2.7 points per game. Who can shoot threes? And Nia Russell is a 6'1" guard, that's a sophomore, 2.4 points per game. Sanaya Rivers is a 6'1" guard, that's a freshman, 2.3 points per game. Sania Fegan is a 6'3" forward, that's a freshman, 1.9 points per game. Obviously, these two teams met before in the regular season. They did. And South Carolina dominated them in the fourth quarter. I promise you right now that I believe this game will be close. Keys for both teams here. Foul trouble is number one because you never know how the game's going to be officiated. But especially for UConn's sake because, look, the depth in the front court isn't going to be an issue potentially. Could potentially be an issue for them. I mean, but defensively, both teams need to make each other uncomfortable, cause turnovers, limit the second chance points, fast break points, and points off turnovers because that's the key on winning games is getting those and rebounding the ball. I mean, obviously, South Carolina does it really, really good to have that big difference, as you could tell based on the stats here. And you got to contain the shooters. And if I was South Carolina, don't go under on the UConn shooters. make them drive instead with the length you have as an advantage. But that's just me. As for UConn, I don't have an idea how they're going to slow down Aaliyah Boston, especially with only two post players that are quality. No offense to the backup, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to be a mismatch. And even if you switch out Aaliyah Edwards, it's still a battle. But if both of them get in foul trouble, like 3 fouls in the first half or 4 fouls in the second half, or foul out period, UConn's in trouble. Now, offensively for both teams, you got to take care of the ball. You got to get second chance points, rebound, fast break points, points out turnovers. Obviously, you got to make some shots. And I can promise you right now that South Carolina is looking at the film for UConn, and UConn's looking at the film for South Carolina. I mean, what they're gonna have to do. If I had to choose a winner in this game, I wouldn't be shocked either way. But I give South Carolina the edge, despite the fact that Gino Auriemma is 11-0 whenever he gets to the national championship. At some point, he's going to lose in the national championship, whether he likes it or not. I think this is the year for it, because I believe South Carolina, first of all, is a healthier team. They're a better team overall, but maybe not in the shooting department, but I mean like 3-point shooting, but they have edges everywhere else. I mean, they do. More depth, first of all, another thing in their favor, so they don't have to worry about the foul trouble as much. And South Carolina's only lost twice all year, and it was like to SEC teams. I mean, the first SEC game of the year and the SEC championship game for the tournament. I just don't see them losing this game here, because Don Staley wants to get another national championship. Not to say Gino doesn't. Oh, no. I'm not going to say that. But it's easy. It's hard enough to get one, but to do it multiple times is even more difficult. I mean, look how many coaches in the game win a national championship multiple times. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button, and let's get me up to 100 subscribers by the end of this year, which is doable because I'm 100 away from that. But as soon as we get to 400, let's get up to 500 for sure. And I will do some WNBA draft for like the top 4 picks on who could go there, like 6 players or 7 maybe. That could be in the top 4 picks. Just keep your eyes out for that, because the WNBA draft is coming up on April 11th, I believe.